we go. Give it
Oh,
a
I hear
second here.
live on Facebook.
Going live. We're going live up in here.
Crazy pants.
All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. Welcome. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. We got a special guest on here today, Miss Sophie Engel. Yeah. So I'll let Sophie share her story here in a second, but just a little prelude. Sophie's crushed it, and she'll kind of share how she did it, but she's lost well over 25 pounds, and that's like, that part is cool. But as you hear how she did it and how confident she is that where she's going in her life, that is actually the coolest part. So without further ado, Sophie, do you mind just kind of, obviously, like you're an amazing story where you are right now, but kind of tell everybody kind of where you started at, like where did this whole journey start?
So I had been with Big Sky Barbell when they originally started, which was a while ago, and it was amazing. And then I kind of got out of it with, family and kids and all that stuff. And then I had my son. So we have 2 kids. So I had my son, all of this stuff was popping up on Instagram and Facebook. And I knew this gym family from before, and really wanted to get back on track to where I was before I had kids. And so they were popping up. So I reached out to Logan and I reached out to Katie, and Logan brought me into the gym, and we had the whole interview thing beforehand. And it was awesome because before I came into the gym, I just had a baby, wasn't feeling great about myself, wasn't doing anything to keep on top of my fitness at all, even though I tried. I wasn't really doing a great job. So I was in a bad mental place. I was in a bad fitness place. And then I found Big Sky Barbell again, and it was just amazing. We kind of went from there.
What were some of the things that you had tried that you were trying to do on your own?
I had tried a lot of diets, like diet fads. I tried a lot of supplements, and it just wasn't anything that was conducive to losing weight long term, or to being healthy long term. So it was just like these hot flash Facebook things that you saw that were like lose weight quick and stuff like that. And it just wasn't, it didn't work for me. Obviously, it did not work at all.
And so obviously, so you had a baby. So what kind of, like, after you had your baby, what kind of, like, were your goals going forward? Like, where was your goals to like get back to where you were? Does it go past where you were? Kind of like what was your mindset going into postpartum?
I had a pair of jeans that I wanted to fit into, and I don't fit those jeans anymore because they're too big. But I had a pair of jeans, and I wanted to be able to keep up with my kids and have something that I could share with them long term, like healthy lifestyles, healthy habits, that kind of stuff. So those were my main goals more than anything. Was like, yes, losing weight would be nice, but I wanted to be overall healthy mentally and physically.
For sure. That's awesome. I mean, that's obviously what it's all about, right? Like
Yeah.
the weight and the pants are like they're just a trophy, but actually it's that,
Oh yeah.
right? It's like your example you set for your kids, the people around you, and obviously now like you're a role model for more than just your kids, which is cool.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm trying.
And so tell me, like, let's stay back a little bit. In that when you first started again, like what finally made you say, like, okay, enough is enough. Like, I'm tired of doing these like hot flash, Facebook diets and things like that. Like, what made you say it's time to take action?
I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted. So they were great. I would stop with my bloat, but I wasn't actually losing weight. I felt like crap physically, because those supplements were really, really hard on your body. So I just was drained and tired and hungry and not seeing anything that I actually wanted to be seen done. My body was tired and starved, and I was tired and starved, and I wasn't getting the energy to keep up with my kids like I wanted to. It was just like I was losing weight, but not appropriately. And then as soon as I started stopping them, it came right back on. Like it was nothing consistent. It was awful. It was very, very disheartening.
Got it. And so you said that you found the Facebook and Instagram ads, and that's how you kind of reached back out. And then kind of explain a little bit about what was your initial plan that was set out for you? Like initially when you sat down with me and then with Katie, like what was your expectations going into it? Like what did you want to
My expectations going into it, like when I sat down with you, we kind of talked about where I was at, what I had been doing, what my goals were, that kind of stuff. And then we talked about long term as opposed to short term. So like I know when we first met, you were saying like, oh, I can have you reach this goal by this time, which was great, but it was also more of like, these are things that we're going to have you learn and build that you can take with yourself consistently for the rest of your life, as opposed to this is something that we're going to do for this time frame and then you're going to be done. It was something like, we want you to build healthy habits for the rest of your life, as opposed to just for a couple of weeks or a couple of months.
Yeah.
Is the main takeaway that I got.
And so with that being said, so obviously like that expectation was set from the beginning. And so obviously like there's obviously still some bumps in the road along the way. Again, we'll get to your results here in a second. So I know that everyone wants to hear about the results and all that stuff, but tell everybody like what were still some bumps along the way that you still experienced, and then how did you overcome them?
So some of the bumps that I experienced were like the meal plan. It's hard. I really like chips, but I also knew
a lot of people feel you on that one.
Yeah. I also knew in my brain that, if I had cheat days, it was okay, but like sticking to that meal plan is something that helps you in the long term. Like abs are made in the kitchen. Like I learned that really quickly. And it was just the results that I got from the meal plan and the guides that we had were amazing. And I knew like if I struggled with that or if I had a bad day, I could see it. And like I could see the bloat, I could see how much worse that I felt. So that really helped me. And then motivation, I guess, was a big one for me, but I learned really quickly that I'm not necessarily motivated, I'm determined. Like I have a goal in my head that I want to get to, and I am determined to make sure that I let myself see that I can do this. So those were some things that I had like pictures and things like that and motivational quotes that helped me a lot, but I knew who I wanted to be. So I was determined to get to be that person that I knew that I could be. Even if I didn't believe in myself, the gym believed in me. So that helped a lot.
Yeah, and I'll argue with you and say that the reason why you are successful is because you do believe in yourself, and ultimately, like whatever we put in the path in front of you, it was honestly almost irrelevant. Like you just decided in your head that you were going to make it work. And I think that's like one of the biggest takeaways is, if you decide in your head to make it work, then the systems that are provided for you, like it can just make the process easier.
Exactly.
You decided in your head that you were going to be successful, and you decided to say, how am I make this work rather than if it is going to work.
Right. Well, and I had Judy a lot at the time too to boss me into making sure my mind was still in the right place, which helped a lot.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
And tell me this. So how has your nutrition evolved since when you started to where you are now? Like what are some of the things and the takeaways that you're able to make this so it is something that you can do, forever rather than something that's just another quick fix, quick fad, quick weight loss?
Well, like 6 ounces of chicken is a lot of chicken. I learned that very quickly. That's a lot of protein. And like, so the portions that they have that you guys give on the meal plan, like they seem daunting at first, but that's a lot of food. I was eating a lot of food. Like I was eating more probably than I was before, because as opposed to like eating McDonald's or something like that, I was eating good food and a lot of food and full, but my body was responding better to it than if I was eating less food or bad food. So that was like amazing and mind blowing. Like my bloat went down like crazy, but I was full, but I didn't look like I was full. So that was really nice. It was really good. Learning how to eat good foods and still eating a lot of food. So it's not like I was starving myself. It's something very, very sustainable.
I think that's awesome. Is that, every time I say to people, it's like you'll probably eat more food than you are right now, and you'll lose weight, and it doesn't make sense to people, right?
It's crazy. It's so crazy, but it works. It's true.
Yeah, that's awesome. What else have you have you really taken this, and let's say that you've even applied to your family, because obviously a lot of people have families out there. So how have you applied this, and how have you used it with your family?
So I've applied healthy eating to myself and my kids. We try really hard to eat single ingredient meals just because I think that's good I have young kids, so like good for growing kids. It's really good. We try and the weather right now is kind of hard, but we try and go for a walk or do some kind of exercise every single day. I do it with my kids because I know that that's building healthy habits for them. So they see me do it. My daughter wants to come help me do it. My daughter comes and helps me cook meals now because we're using single ingredient foods, and it's
That's so
super
cool.
fun. Yeah, she gets to be involved in it, and she's all about it, and she's starting to learn about it. So, I mean, I've applied a lot of what I've learned to my entire home life, and it's been awesome because it's gotten my kids more involved, and like we've been more involved with each other, and they're learning, and it's super fun. It's really nice.
I think that's awesome. It's like you're the role model for those kids, and ultimately, like the habits that get, they get from you, right? From their parents.
Yeah,
That's how they learn. And
it's
I think
fun.
I think it's fair to say that, our parents, maybe again, I don't want to speak for you. You can definitely, tell if I'm wrong, but my parents didn't teach me about healthy eating. They didn't teach me about, incorporating exercise into my life and any of these habits. And so it was really hard for me to be able to like break all these habits that I grew up for 18 years and then all of a sudden like, oh, like I should live a different lifestyle, right?
I grew up on mac and cheese and grilled cheese and
There you
things I
go.
can make myself. So
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be easier for our kids, right, to be
yeah,
able to experience these good habits, and it ultimately just gives them a better opportunity to actually make the choice, right? Because ultimately that's all it is
exactly.
just a choice.
Gives them a good head start in life, which is
Exactly.
awesome.
I love it. All right, now for the fun part that everyone's been waiting for. So if you don't mind sharing a little bit about like what are your results? Like tell us about the weight loss, the body composition stuff, the genes again, like
Oh
what
my gosh.
results have you experienced?
My results have been amazing. So like I said previously, when I first started at Big Scare Barbell, I think I was 4 or 5 months out from pregnancy, and I felt like crap about myself. I was not eating well, I was not doing anything, I was unmotivated, I didn't fit in any of my clothes, like it was awful. So then I started up with Big Sky Barbell, and I think after the first like 2 weeks or so, I texted Katie and I was like, oh my gosh, my bloat is gone, which was
Mhm.
amazing, which was like a big step for me because I realized that a lot of the weight that I had was bloat, it was water weight, it was
Yep.
just feeling crummy. I felt crummy because I was eating crummy. So after the first month, for sure, my clothes started to fit better. My mental health went up like crazy because I had something that was consistent and people who were encouraging, and it's been so amazing for my mental health overall. Like I was seeing results, I felt better about myself, I wasn't just sitting on the couch being lazy doing nothing, I had goals. um I had this family that was there and they believed in me, even like if I was having hard days and they didn't believe in myself, I could text Katie and she was like, girl, you got this, like it's going to be great, it's going to be awesome, you're doing amazing. So overall, like those first couple months were just amazing. And then I fit into my gold jeans.
Yeah.
I bought myself new workout clothes because that was one of my goals. Like I was going to lose 10 pounds and buy a new dress, but then I bought new workout clothes instead because I wanted new workout clothes for the gym. So that was more exciting for me. And they were a size that I hadn't fit into since before I had kids, and they looked great and it was awesome. And then I passed that. So my gold jeans don't fit anymore at
Old
all.
gold
They're too big
jeans.
for
Old
me.
gold jeans.
I know. I have to wear a belt to fit into them. A lot of my dresses and stuff don't fit anymore. I'm down to pre my first child weight, which is amazing, somewhere
That's
that I
awesome.
never thought that I would get. And I don't know if I could have gotten there on my own. But it's just like, and my mental health is amazing. My husband and I are doing great. My kids are doing great. Like it's just, I've I can't even put into words how thankful I am for this program and this gym. Like it's saved my life in a lot of ways.
That's awesome. And I'll comment on the last thing you said is that the mental health thing is so important. And that's obviously a big thing that I love to really focus on is because you get your mindset right, everything
Yeah.
else will fly right behind that, right?
Exactly. Well, and like with the food and everything too, like not eating junk that's weighing my body down and making me feel like junk. Like I
Mhm.
feel healthy, I feel strong, I feel energized, and it's helped with my brain so much.
So good, so good. So do you have any advice that you'd like to give to somebody who maybe is like maybe back they're like where you were, you know, 4 or 5 months
Yeah.
ago? Like what advice would you give to that person?
Just stick with it and trust it. If you have bad days, you have bad days. Like it's okay. When you're first starting, it's really daunting. It's really hard to think about changing your entire life this way, but it works. Like if you just trust in the gym and you trust in the people around you, and just be honest, like if you have a bad day, you have a bad day. That's okay. We're human. We have bad days. But this program and these people are here to help you. They want you to succeed. And if you have a bad day, that's okay. But just recognize that you had a bad day and get back on track. Like it's okay. You don't fail because you had one bad day. You just have to let yourself feel that way and get that way and then get back on track and realize that this program will work if you have your faith in it. And you have to have faith in the people who are there to support you, and you have to support yourself and believe that you can do this. Like you can do this. It's just getting your mind in that place that you can be what you want to be. If you give it time and you have faith, you'll get there.
So good. Yeah. And I'll just piggyback on that and say that, as much as I think the program's awesome, it all comes down to you as individuals. So like, as long as you get your headspace right and you go all in, you commit, just like Sophie did, you'll make it happen. I promise you, because there's enough different hows on how to figure it out. As long as you have the commitment, you're like, I'm going to make this work no matter what. You will make it happen. I assure you. And if you want to use us as the guide, it'll be even easier, right? But ultimately, it comes down to you. So, and that's the props have for you, Sophie, because I know that you're giving us a lot of credit, but honestly, you decided you were gonna make it happen. It was just like, how are you gonna make it happen? And so that's the props that give to you, for sure.
Set my mind to it, and I don't know what happened, and it went from there. I had help. I needed help, but I put my mind where I wanted it to be and saw me where I wanted to be, and now I'm getting there. Pretty darn close. I'm a lot better than I was.
You're a rock star, you're a stud. So yeah, so I thank you so much for getting on here and sharing your story. It really is an amazing story. I hope that if everybody who listens to this, I hope it really does motivate you and let you know that like you can do it, right? You have that belief in yourself, you can do it, and take something from Sophie's story and like apply it to you and use it to propel you to get things started or get past where you were. But ultimately, stories is kind of what helps us get to the next level. Is they see somebody else can do it and they believe they can do it. So use this, move forward. And again, so we had Sophie Engel on here today. So big shout out to you. Thank you very much. And if anyone's interested in doing a program like Sophie did, if you want to, just reach out to us and reach out for a custom game plan, and we'll do just like we'll do with Sophie's. We'll sit you down and see what your goals are and see if we can actually help you out, and then we'll put together a custom plan just based on, again, your goals, your schedule, your lifestyle. And as long as you have that how, and as long as you know what you want to do, we'll figure out the how from there. So
it works. Thank you, Logan.
Thank you so much. All right.
Yeah.
Bye.